Juan Soto is a Yankee. So, how will they use him?
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsulias. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. With me, as always, is my producer, Steve Granado. Steve, it's Monday, isn't it?
It's Monday, isn't it? Hey, thanks for clicking on the show here today, guys. This is our first week of the off season. That is not 5 days a week. Just as a reminder, we are now moving to Monday, Wednesday, Friday here on Locked On Yankees for the next couple of weeks until pitchers and catchers, essentially. But thanks for clicking on the show today. Regardless, we have to talk about the Rule 5 draft. We actually haven't gotten to that because of the Juan Soto news. So we're going to talk about the Rule 5 draft later on in the show. Of course, I'm going to be giving my aggressive Yankees lineup with Juan Soto included. What does that mean? I'll get to that later. But Stace, we got to talk about Juan Soto because it's been a few days.
Yeah.
It's settled in. We had Michael K on the show last week. If you missed that, go check it out. We talked about Juan Soto there. But now it's going to be like the first chance that you and I get to talk like with clear heads. And now it's like, okay, it is settled in.
Yeah.
Where are you at with that, by the way? Like now that the dust is settled, it's been days since. Obviously, bigger news has happened in baseball since. But concerning the Yankees, like where are you at with that now?
I'm as happy as I was when it happened. I'm relieved that they did it. I think what Michael K said on the show the other day, which I'm going to love saying that so many times this offseason, about them doing what the evil empire should do and trade for one of the best players in baseball, and they actually did that. So I'm happy about it.
All right, Stace, that's good. You said for one of the best players in baseball. Yes, we can do that. I also wanted to get into today who Juan Soto is and who Juan Soto isn't. So let's get into that right now. Let's start with who isn't he? So despite him being a left-handed bat, which is all well and good, he isn't necessarily a heavy pull hitter. I'm not going to say he's not a pull hitter. I'm not going to say he doesn't hit to the pull side. He definitely does, but he's not a heavy pull hitter. Heavy pull hitters are like Giancarlo Stanton, guys who just pull the ball like crazy. That is not Juan Soto. He has a center field, right field, and left center field approach, weirdly enough, when it comes to power. So he is not a heavy pull hitter. Myth number one. Myth number two, he's not a heavy home run hitter. And again, same caveat. I'm not going to say he's not a home run hitter because that's the furthest thing from the truth. But he's not a guy that's going to be hitting 40 plus. He's never has. He just hasn't. He's hitting plenty of homers. He's hitting the 25 to 35 range. That's great.
Yeah.
But he is not a home run hitter first. So I wanted to make sure that he has great pop, incredible pop, but he's not a Aaron Judge type home run hitter. Not many are.
No.
He's also not a bad ball hitter. So what is a bad ball hitter? You think guys like Luis Arias, you go further back, you think Vlad Guerrero Sr., those are bad ball hitters. That is not Juan Soto. Mainly because he does not chase. And that's what I want to get into with who he is. Juan Soto doesn't chase. He's a very disciplined hitter. He works counts. He watches pitches outside of the zone. He swings at pitches inside the zone. Sometimes he lets pitches inside the zone go. He is a workhorse at the plate. He is constantly working when he is batting. He is not a guy that just goes up there, swings willy-nilly. He is a disciplined hitter, perhaps one of the most disciplined hitters in baseball. Probably the better one is Luis Arias. But that's mincing. You're really splitting hairs at that point. And then I also mentioned again, Stacey, his left center field power approach. If you look at the heat maps, if you look at his career in the major leagues, he hits more home runs to left center field than any other part of the ballpark. Again, I'm not saying he doesn't pull the ball. I'm not saying he doesn't hit home runs to right field, but historically, throughout his career, Juan Soto has gone to left center field for the majority of his homers. So when we're talking about what Soto is going to bring to the Yankees, yes, a left-handed bat is all well and good. And yes, we have been screaming that, and everybody's been screaming that, get him, and they did.
Yeah.
But if you're going out there and thinking all he's going to do is hit home runs to right field like an Austin Wells is projected to do, that is just not the case. So you have to be prepared for that. Could he change his approach a little bit? Maybe, but maybe that might not be the best plan and best use case for him as well. So temper your expectations there. Again, he's going to hit home runs to right field, but I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the majority of his homers, especially, well, I guess for only 2024 guaranteed.
Right. Yeah. I do like that he's disciplined. We spoke about it the night that the Yankees acquired him, that he how many walks did he have more than Aaron Judge, who led the Yankees? It was something
It
like
was like
30 or
60.
40. Or,
It
oh
was
yeah,
like
right.
60, yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot. So yeah, I like that he's that type of player. I like that he can, run into one every once in a while, pull wise. And we talked about how, or I talked about this with my brother because we were watching highlights of him. So many of the balls that he hits out don't look like they're going to go out because they're hit
No.
so high, but he has high arcing home runs when he hits them. It's kind of crazy how the ball travels off his bat. So that'll be fun to watch on a daily basis.
Yeah, he fights him off of his hands a lot to left center
Mhm.
field. He is extremely strong. He is obviously he looks strong, but he is deceivingly stronger than he actually looks. Because he's not skinny, but he's not, he's not
Yeah.
Giancarlo Stanton. He doesn't
Right.
look like that. Stacey, now that we know a little bit more about Juan Soto with his bat, MLB posted a graphic after the Yankees acquired him with MLB Network's projected Yankees lineup. We have some thoughts. So let's get into those, Stace. The projected Yankees lineup, according to MLB Network, reads like this. I'll put it on screen for the YouTube viewers. But they have DJ leading off as the third baseman, Soto slotting in at the 2 in right field, Aaron Judge in center field batting third, Anthony Rizzo, the first baseman, batting cleanup, Gleyber Torres at second base batting fifth, Stanton DHing and batting sixth, Alex Verdugo in left field batting seventh, Jose Trevino or Austin Wells catching and batting eighth, and Anthony Volpe playing short and batting ninth. Stacey, your initial thoughts on this projected MLB Network lineup?
I saw it early on Saturday morning and thought to myself, are they kidding? I really did. I was like, who came up with this?
What are you in particular nonplussed about when it comes to this graphic?
Well, I'm them assuming Wells is going to be there at somewhere. The DJ leading off, sure, but I don't know. I feel like there are better options for leading off. And I feel like with the way DJ kind of picked things up, I feel like he'd be better off down the lineup a little bit. I don't know. That just feels weird with the options that they have to have him leading off.
I don't want to give it away because I have my aggressive lineup. Again, I'm going to explain what that means later on in the show here in just a couple of minutes. Obviously they put Stanton in there.
Yeah.
And that is career-wise.
Right.
Again, my lineup is aggressive for a reason. But your thoughts on Stanton DHing and batting sixth?
Well, we had him when we were trying to figure out, remember like when we first were just figuring out a lineup when Verdugo was coming over and we were thinking, where the heck is Stanton going to be? And we were joking about him being sixth or seventh. At least they didn't put him clean up.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that by the way, that segment, no one's seen except for you or I.
Yeah,
because that was a lost episode because of Juan Soto's move.
That's right. See, we recorded so many episodes the day that they got Juan Soto. I can't remember what actually was up and what wasn't. So
Yeah, that did not make it. No one will ever see that. That was a segment of where does Alex Verdugo fit in the lineup pre Juan Soto. So that segment will never be viewed before. Maybe we'll send it to just Locked On Yankees insiders.
Yeah, the insiders can look at it.
Yeah. Again, there are thoughts I have. I have an aggressive lineup here in just a second that I poured a lot of work into. I'm not going to lie. I spent a lot of time working on my lineup, and I'm going to get to that here next. Of course, I just mentioned the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. You should definitely join it because one of our insiders got to ask Michael K a question the other day, and that's just one of the really, really cool perks that they get. They also get Fan Mail Friday priority, which, of course, Fan Mail Friday returns this Friday. So get your questions in now. Reply to that pinned comment below. Insiders get priority as always. And of course, they also get a whole bunch of other perks like insider info. We text you, you text us. It's a whole bunch of fun. Check out the episode description for a free 2-week trial. Check it out in the episode description. All right. My aggressive lineup. What does that mean? And how did I come to that conclusion? That's next.
Score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's an easy $150 if your team wins. If you've considered joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is a breeze to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and you can also combine prop bets on a game into a single game parlay for even more fun and more chances to win big. This coming Sunday, the Giants will be in New Orleans to face the Saints, while the Jets will be down in Miami to face the Dolphins. The odds are not there yet as I'm recording this, but I'm sure they'll be there for you this week. By the way, the Yankees 2024 World Series odds have changed since acquiring Juan Soto. Right now, they're behind only the Dodgers, Braves, Astros, and Rangers at plus 950. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Back now on Locked On Yankees. Hey, to the everydayers out there, if you're looking for more Locked On podcasts, there's a million of them out there. And you can check it out every day on the Locked On Sports Today 24/7 YouTube streaming channel. If you're a fan of another team, of course, you can always look it up by themselves. But if you want to get a wide variety of sports, go check it out. Again, Locked On Sports Today. Look it up on YouTube. If you need background sound, it's the best place to go on YouTube. Check it out. We were on there the other day, as a matter of fact. They took our Juan Soto episode, so super cool. Stacey, I talked about this moments ago. My aggressive lineup. So for everydayers, you probably have heard me talk about my lineup construction mentality. In case you're new, which we know there are a lot of you. Hi. Hello.
Hello.
In case you're new and don't know about my lineup construction mentality, I am more aggressive in period, just in general. I like to play the hotter hand. I like to put players in positions that they're going to succeed in, probably more than conventional wisdom. And this is how I came to this conclusion in this lineup. There are some things that you might not think would work, but numbers say that they do. And I have a reason for pretty much everything of why I put these guys in the positions that they are. So without further ado, let me just go ahead and read the lineup, and then I will explain my way through it after the fact. So this is my righty, lefty, don't care, whatever, general lineup for the Yankees in 2024 if opening day was tomorrow. Of course, there could be moves, injuries, all that stuff. This is no injuries, nothing. Here we go. My leadoff man is going to startle you maybe right off the bat. First baseman, Anthony Rizzo. Batting second, I have Aaron Judge in center field. I have Gleyber Torres batting third and playing second base. I have Juan Soto in left and batting cleanup. That's where things get a little different. Well, maybe they've already been different, but my designated hitter is not a foregone conclusion. I have the DH role in the 5 spot where I would play the hottest bat that is not in the regular everyday lineup. That includes AAA bat. Sixth, I have Alex Verdugo batting in sixth and then playing right field. I have DJ LeMahieu playing third base and batting seventh. I have Anthony Volpe at short batting eighth. And then Jose Trevino / Ben Rortvedt catching and batting ninth. So again, that's Rizzo, Judge, Torres, Soto, DH, Verdugo, LeMahieu, Volpe, catcher. Let me explain my way through this, Stace. Again, before you go typing a full tirade rant at me, again, I had a reason for every single player and where they are in this lineup. Anthony Rizzo, let's start at the top, right? Rizzo One, left-handed bat. I did my best to play into the 3 batter minimum rule as best as I could. There is only one part in this lineup where there are 3 straight right-handed bats, and that's 7, 8, 9. That could be flipped, by the way. If you flipped Verdugo and LeMahieu, it would give you no point in the order in which there are 3 right-handed bats consecutively. But numbers-wise, I favored the numbers Verdugo in the 6th spot. Anyway, Anthony Rizzo. He doesn't have as many at-bats in the leadoff spot throughout his career. He used to bat there in Chicago a little bit more. Obviously, we haven't seen that a lot in pinstripes, but it's maybe his best numbers. Just throwing that out there. And he also hits better earlier in an at-bat. So pitches 1, 2, and 3, he swings much better. And of course, if you're in the leadoff spot, you might be getting more fastballs early, especially leading off in the first inning. Just throwing that out there. Okay, batting second, Aaron Judge. This seems like more of a no-brainer. I fiddled with the idea of him batting third, but Glaber has better numbers in the 3 spot than Aaron Judge. I think that does come with a caveat, however, because he batted second a lot during the 2022 season. So
Right.
there are numbers that are skewed there. I think Judge in the 2 or 3 doesn't really matter as far as I'm concerned. But the reason why I put him in the 2, favoring him over the 3 spot, is because Gleyber Torres has great numbers in the 3 spot. He has great numbers with runners in scoring position, and he has great numbers with runners on, period. That's why I put Gleyber in the 3 spot. This is where, again, I try to keep the 3 batter rule in play for the Yankees. I put Juan Soto in the cleanup spot. Why would I do that? Juan Soto should be batting second, Steve. Juan Soto should be batting second. No, I think Juan Soto should be batting cleanup for the Yankees for a few reasons. If he's batting second, there are going to be way less opportunities for Juan Soto to bat with 2 outs. He is an incredible 2-out hitter. He also hits better with runners on, amazingly. And he works deep counts, like we said. So what happens if Gleyber is leading off, or pardon me, if Juan Soto is leading off more? Well, he could work deeper counts, but it's going to be with less runners on. So you know that if the count is going to get deeper for Juan Soto, he's going to be good. And his on-base average just keeps climbing the more pitches that he sees. But they can't get to that point if they have to pitch to him if there's runners on already. So if you already have Judge and Gleyber on, if you have Rizzo on, you have runners on, Soto's already better in that scenario. And of course, the more pitches he sees, the better he's going to get. The more stress on a pitcher, it's just going to make him better and better and better. Now, the designated hitter situation. Obviously, I'm looking to the most recent numbers and saying, why is Stanton not in there? Because recent numbers say he should not be playing every day. The only thing that says that he should be playing every day is his contract. So for Stanton, he has to prove to me that he earns that spot back. Again, I am more aggressive. Again, this is the aggressive lineup. Should you be saying that to a guy making as much as he is? Maybe not. Would I? Kinda. I think it kind of boils down to how does he play in spring training and how healthy is he? And he has to win that spot in my mind. He doesn't just have it. So that's why I have the DH spot as the who's hitting hot right now. That's why I have that. Alex Verdugo, I put in the right field position because his arm is better than other guys. He's better in right field and bats 6th. If you guys watched our initial Juan Soto episodes or Alex Verdugo episodes, I said he should be playing left field. I have looked at the numbers and changed my mind. I think he should be playing right field. That's the case right now. So again, I'm trying to split up lefties and righties. Right now, you do have lefty, righty, lefty going 4, 5, 6. But that's the case. Verdugo's numbers are good in the 6th spot. They're also good in the 7th spot, so you can flip it. But DJ LeMahieu's bat is not better in the 6th spot. It's better in the 7th spot, which is why I put LeMahieu there. I also have him obviously playing over Oswald Peraza, which, hey, that's just the case. That's just how it is right now, and that's what the Yankees are going to be doing, period. I have Anthony Volpe batting in the 8th spot. He is the shortstop. Volpe had better numbers in the 8th spot than the 9th spot last season. Obviously, that's small sample. It's only one season. But, hey, try and play the numbers as best you can. And then I have Trevino and Rortvedt batting 9th. I don't know why they put Wells there over Rortvedt. Clearly, Rortvedt is going to be part of it, and he's earned that spot more than Wells has. Wells could take that spot eventually, but as far as opening day is concerned, it's been Rortvedt in my mind. The other things I have to consider here in this spot, Stacey, I know this has been Steve heavy, but I have Giancarlo Stanton really only batting against left-handed batters, or left-handed pitchers rather, just trying to play the numbers the best I can. And I really wouldn't use him in the second half of the season because the numbers are terrible in the second half season throughout his entire career, for the most part. Obviously, there's been a couple of one-off seasons his MVP year. He was really good in the second half. But for the most part, no. I'm letting the DH spot, especially in the second half, go to the hottest bat, that being Cabrera or Peraza, having the leg up, and then you're just keeping your eye on the AAA numbers as best as you can, and that's what I end up using. So again, that's Rizzo, Judge, Torres, Soto, DH, Verdugo, LeMahieu, Volpe, and catcher. Stace, we don't have a whole ton of time, but your thoughts on my thought process? Again, I poured a lot of time into this, so this wasn't just I feel like this guy would bat good here. I looked at every number I could.
Right. You didn't just pick the numbers out of a hat and say, okay, this is how I'm going to do this. No. And I get the reasoning for most of those spots. So, because at first when I saw it, I was like, Rizzo.
Rizzo's a leadoff hitter.
And Soto, cleanup. But, the more you spoke about what he does, I mean, even if he's not hitting a lot of home runs in the cleanup spot, but he's hitting like doubles and scoring guys who are on base, like, hell yes, give me Juan Soto in the 4 spot. I mean, it'd be better than some of the options that the Yankees had last year.
Yeah. We can always get into the conversation later on, and I think we definitely will, of the lineup regularity. That's a whole conversation in itself.
I'm a little I'm a little afraid of. I'm hoping that Boone doesn't do his revert back to 2022 when he was changing the lineup constantly and making it like where you just knew Judge was going to be 2, but you didn't know where anyone else was going to be. So I'm kind of hoping he goes back to 2023 where he was a little more regular with where some of the guys were. So
yeah, for sure. Anyway, that's my aggressive lineup. Again, maybe it's a little too aggressive, but I try to put the players into the position that they are best suited for. And that's what I did. All right, we're going to step aside. When we come back, we have a conversation from that lost episode, actually, from a couple of days ago. So if you hear us refer to things like Wednesday or something, then that's what we're talking about. Again, the Yankees made some Rule 5 stuff happen. They picked up some players. They also lost a whole bunch of them. We need to break that down when we come back. Back here on Locked On Yankees, Stacey, the Rule 5 draft was on Wednesday afternoon. Yes, afternoon in Nashville. Time zones here. You guys know I'm on the West Coast. Everything doesn't make sense over here. So, so the Rule 5 draft, yes. What is the Rule 5 draft? Well, it's a long way to say there's a draft of players who are already in baseball but don't have a chance to play in the big leagues. It's a long way to say it. So the Yankees lost not an insignificant amount of players, but they've lost some players.
Yeah,
they kind of got gutted up top. So the A's had the number 1 overall pick in the Rule 5 draft yesterday, and they took Yankees right-hander Mitch Spence. Mitch Spence was with the Rail Riders all last season. He was their workhorse last season. He threw the most innings. I think he was nearing or surpassed the franchise record in strikeouts for the Rail Riders last year, which was set by Matt Crook the year prior. Mitch Spence was a workhorse. He was their guy. He was their guy last season. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Mitch Spence is this incredible lights out Cy Young candidate. I'm not going to lie to you. I saw Spence in 2022 when he got called up after the trade deadline. What the trade deadline? Oh yeah. The Rail Riders got gutted. Mitch Spence got called up. He was the first one to start after the Wesneski and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So Mitch Spence was the guy. And he was okay at the end of 22. He had a decent 23. He was not going to be a Yankee starter. And that's why they didn't protect him by putting him on the 40-man.
Because that's the other thing. Like, these players aren't protected, so the other teams can. It's like, oh, okay, we're going to take this from you. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, it's just plain and simple. He was not going to make it to the Yankees. Thank you for your service. Good luck in Oakland/Vegas. That's how it's going to be. And good for Spence. It seems like he's going to get a chance out there.
Yeah, and that's what you want for these guys, because you do want the guys that aren't going to get a chance with the Yankees to get a chance with someone else.
The Royals took Matt Sauer second overall. Matt Sauer is a guy who's battled injuries throughout his career. We've seen him in the lower levels have some success. He's kind of like a wow, when he's on, it's great. And then there's times where it's just like, okay, well, we're just getting through the night. So that's Matt Sauer in a nutshell. I never saw him personally pitch, but have also kind of seen him around in the same world here of following along. So Matt Sauer goes 1-2 to the Kansas City Royals. Again, he's kind of in that same vein. It didn't look like he's going to make it in pinstripes. It just didn't seem like it was going to work out. So that's how that is. And obviously we'll get a better chance with the Royals. That's how it is there. And the same thing kind of for Carson Coleman. He's a lot younger. So that's one that the Yankees just adios. Again, it's 40-man decisions. The way to not get these guys into the Rule 5 draft is if you 40-man those players after a certain amount of time. That it came push come to shove for Carson Coleman too, and you just got to let it go. That's just how it is. The Yankees did pick up 2 yesterday. I picked up during the AAA phase of the Rule 5 draft. If there are different phases, I'm not going to get into it. It's not worth it. Yankees selected right-handed pitcher Gabriel Barbosa from the Colorado Rockies, and then right-handed pitcher Kervin Castro from the Houston Astros. Barbosa is very low level. He has not pitched above low A. So he's been down, like complex and, that kind of level, rookie level baseball. I thought this was funny, Stace. This is kind of just a fun little aside. Sean Spalding, who I used to shout out a lot during the World Baseball Classic. He was like the lead World Baseball Classic guy. He tweeted this. So Gabriel Barbosa is a famous soccer player, a Brazilian soccer player. Not the same guy.
Not
there
the
are
same
two
guy,
different Gabriel Barbosas. And so in Brazilian soccer, they call him Gabagol. And so that has also leaked over to this guy, and he has been called Gabastrike.
That's funny.
Which is kind of fun.
That's cute.
Fun.
Yeah,
that's cute. It's nice and fun. And then as far as Kervin Castro is, he's been in the majors a little bit of time with the Giants and Cubs. He was at the Tigers in their AAA with Toledo last season, but he's probably not going to pitch next year. He had UCL surgery, so that's wait and see. But that's how it is. He has not had like any success really in the majors just yet, but it's a really, really small sample size. So these are pretty small moves, but moves nonetheless. The Yankees also lost a couple of other guys. They lost Eric Wagaman to the Angels. He's an infielder. They lost Mickey Gasper to the Red Sox. They lost Michael Gomez to the Tampa Bay Rays, a guy that I really got close with in 2022, knew pretty well. And, he was decent. He had some struggles for sure. He definitely hit a lull around midway point of summer, kind of picked it up towards the end in 2022. And he was with the Real Riders all last season. And then the Pittsburgh Pirates get Marcos Cabrera. Cabrera had been in the lower levels of the Yankees system with Tampa, with Hudson Valley. He has a lot of pop, definitely has a lot of power, and we saw it on a handful of occasions for sure. But with the way the Yankees infield depth is set right now, Marcos Cabrera just didn't figure into the equation here moving forward. Again, that's why these guys have not been 40-man, right? You weren't going to 40-man Marcos Cabrera. You just weren't going to do that. He had some good success, but he's just not going to be a part of it. And that's kind of how this goes sometimes. It's like you just kind of have to make these decisions. And when it comes to that time, you're like, look, we'd like to keep you around, but it just doesn't make any sense. And, for a lot of guys like this, that's just how it is. Like, again, Mitch Spence, it didn't seem like it was going to work. Michael Gomez, it doesn't seem like he's not going to factor into the bullpen, man. He's just not, but he's going to get a chance in Tampa, maybe, and Mitch Spence is definitely going to get a chance in Oakland. Like, that's the whole point of the Rule 5 draft is these players who are kind of blocked and can't get 40-man. And then just, it's how she goes, man. And best of luck to all these guys. You hope it works out for all of them. Hope you guys enjoyed that conversation. Again, that was from the other day, Stacey. We were so naive. That was recorded literal minutes before. That may have been recorded right as the news is breaking, actually.
Yeah, I think it was. I really think it was, because I think we missed the news by like 7 minutes. So as we were ending that segment, going into the outro, and then signing off and then finding out, the Yankees did get Juan Soto. That was our day. That day was great.
Yeah. So That was, we didn't want to rehash that since we had just done it and it didn't really have anything to do with Soto. It was all Rule 5 stuff. Hopefully you enjoyed that. And hopefully you enjoyed today's Locked On Yankees. That's going to do it for today's episode. I'm Steve Granado.
And I'm Stacey Gotsulias. We will see you on Wednesday.